Tom was excited inside. Usually he felt a certain amount of dread as he waited for the bus. But this morning, things were different. When Tom boarded the bus, he looked down the aisle for Lily. What he saw caused his excitement to turn to disappointment. Lily was not there. Tom had that hurt feeling that came from wanting to tell someone something special and then not being able to do so.
Last night when I returned from the party, it was dark and the house was quiet. Before then, it seemed hard to pray, but when I knelt beside my bed and prayed, I had a deep feeling inside that life was good. Later, I even thought school was worthwhile. And best of all, I felt like I could do things better from now on. I felt the same way this morning, like after I prayed, I wanted to tell Lily about it.
Later, the bus made its usual stop in front of the LDS chapel. There were two girls who always caught the bus at this stop, but this morning, Tom was surprised when he saw a whole crowd of students entering the bus. He was even more surprised to see Lily among those getting on.
Hey, Lily, what's going on? How come all you guys are getting on here?
We started a seminary class this morning, Sam.
What's a seminary class? I'll bet it's another one of those crazy LDS deals. Those people are always doing some strange things.
Even though Sam wasn't talking loudly, Tom could still hear his comments to his friend who sat with him.
I can't see why Lily goes to that church. I can't see why anybody would. They believe people shouldn't drink or smoke. Boy, what would life be without drinking?
I wonder what the deal is. What's seminary anyway?
When the bus arrived at school, Tom was greatly pleased that Lily waited outside the bus for him.
I'm glad you came to the party last night. I thought maybe you'd come to seminary, but I guess you were too sleepy.
I wasn't too sleepy. I didn't know anything about seminary.
You mean nobody invited you to come? Oh, no. I should have told you about it, but I thought the elders would tell you.
Nobody told me.
Meet me at lunch and I'll tell you about it.
As the bell sounded, ending the speech class, Tom made his way to Mrs. Jacobson's desk.
I just wanted to say that I'm sorry I haven't done better in class.
Well, Tom, you haven't done too poorly. It's just that I've noticed you don't try very hard. Ever since the class started, I've had the feeling you could be a good student if you wanted to be.
I'm going to try harder from now on. And if it's not too late, I'll give that talk I'm supposed to give tomorrow.
Tom arrived at the gymnasium a little late and was met by Mr. Williams, the PE teacher and coach.
You got 4 minutes to get your gym clothes on. Get a move on, Tom.
Tom had felt for a long time that Mr. Williams had not liked him, but today even he seemed like a friend. At the end of the gym period, Keith walked over to meet Tom.
Hey, Tom, you were sure hitting those long shots today. Coach is going to hold tryouts for the team next week. Why don't you try out?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I think I will give it a try. I've got to meet Lily. I'll see you later.
Hey, guess what? I'm going to try out to be a cheerleader.
That's great. You'll be able to make everybody cheer. Maybe you can cheer for me.
What do you mean?
I guess I'll try out for the basketball team.
It's hard to be on the team after you quit school, isn't it?
I was just kidding about quitting.
I'm glad you were just kidding. Say, I promised you I'd tell you about seminary. We have the first class this morning at 6:30.
6:30?
Sure, we aren't a bunch of sleepyheads. We're going to study the life of Jesus. It's going to be great. Brother Adams is the teacher, and this morning there was 12 of us kids there.
How do you get to the chapel so early?
Some kids' parents bring them, and some walk. You live close enough that you could walk. What about it? Can you come in the morning?
I guess I could. I never thought much about religion till last night. And then, it's kind of hard to tell you how I felt last night.
You mean at the party?
No, it was after the party. Elder Tyson told me some things about Jesus while we were sweeping up. He suggested for me to pray when I got home. Everybody was asleep, and it was real quiet, so I thought I would. I didn't really know how to pray, But I knelt there and kept thinking about what I'd heard about Jesus. I just started talking inside my mind. And, well, a feeling came over me that made me feel real good inside. I still feel that same way.
I'm glad you told me about your prayer. When I hear you talk that way, it makes me feel good inside.
The next morning at 6:30, Lily introduced a sleepy Tom to Brother Adams. Tom was surprised to see Keith there, too. After the class had sung the opening song, Brother Adams, who didn't know about Tom's problem of speaking before groups, said,
"Tom, would you offer the prayer this morning, please? You look like someone who could offer a good prayer."
Keith and Lily held their breath nervously. They wondered what Tom would do. Tom trembled a little inside, but outwardly he appeared calm. He walked to the front and paused for a few seconds. Then in a quiet voice he began to speak.
Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for our many blessings.
His prayer was one of deep gratitude. The words flowed from his heart.
Brothers and sisters, I have a feeling that Tom's prayer has brought us close to Heavenly Father and Jesus. I'm sure that under this spirit we can almost hear their voices. Let me read you the words of Jesus about hearing His voice. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. In seminary, we will study about Jesus, who is our good shepherd, and in that sense we will hear his voice. We will be like Peter and Andrew, to whom Jesus spoke. And he saith unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. And going on from thence, he saw other two brethren, James, the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, in a ship with Zebedee their father, mending their nets, and he called them. And they immediately left the ship and their father, and followed him. Later he saw Matthew for the first time, and said, Follow me. And he arose and followed him. My brothers and sisters, these men were the fold of Jesus. When they heard his voice, they followed. How about us? When we hear the Good Shepherd's voice, will we follow?
Tom felt the full impact of these questions. Within his heart, he answered with certainty, I'll follow. Like the early followers, Tom would not find it an easy road to follow Jesus. He would need more strength than he'd ever had before. But now, somehow, he seemed to have that strength.